Out of the 50-50, one's going to be a Kneebar. So, you know, if you're brown belt or under, get a head start. Let me explain a tiny bit actually before we do that, you know, about Kneebars, because I want to assuage your fears, because there is a lot of fear mongering about leg locks. It applies to heel. It's mostly applied to heel hooks, but just leg locks in general. There's a lot of like, oh no, it's gonna like, and even knee reaping. Like, man, knee reaping is the dumbest thing ever. Like, man, my knee, if it goes like this, it's gonna explode, right? I've been doing leg locks, and like, even before I did Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, I actually did another style of Jiu-jitsu where I learned some leg locks. And I've been doing like heel hooks, foot locks, knee bars, all that kind of stuff for probably 15 years now. And I've never hurt someone's knee with a knee reap. Like, that's just, I'm sorry, it's bullshit. It cannot hurt your knee unless you're an idiot. The reason people fear leg locks is because if you're doing sort of the general path of Jiu-jitsu, you don't start doing knee bars and toe holds and stuff like that until you're a brown belt, or maybe sometimes purple belt. And you don't do heel hooks almost ever. So imagine if the first time you ever saw an arm bar, or did arm bars regularly, or a kimura, was when you were a brown belt. You'd probably do a bunch of really dumb stuff to get out of it. But because you started with arm bars at white belt, you kind of know, okay, my arm's in danger, my elbow's caught, my shoulder's caught. Like, if I put you in a kimura, and you like tard out, and your shoulder tears, then that's your fault. But if I put you in a heel hook, and you go like that, and something happens to your knee, it's my fault? No, you're being an idiot. And the reason you're being an idiot, it's not your fault. It's that you didn't learn the technique from the beginning, so you freak out and do crazy shit. You're also scared because someone's put you in a heel hook, and people have told you that heel hooks make your knee explode. A properly applied heel hook is felt in your foot way before it's felt in your knee. Now later on, we're going to do a little bit of no-gi, and if you're interested, if you want to do some heel hooks, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to do it so that you won't ever worry about injuring anybody's knee with a heel hook, because a properly applied heel hook doesn't just blow your knee out. Like, you've heard this before. You don't feel anything, and then your knee explodes. That's only if the guy doing it sucks at heel hooks and you're being an idiot. If you do them properly, you get a slow rotation into the pain, which, again, I'm just getting off on a tangent. So, we're going to do the knee bar from the 50-50. Knee bars, toe holds, ankle locks, they're perfectly safe provided you treat them with respect and you gain the knowledge properly on how to defend them. You know, again, the proper way to defend an arm bar, like if let's say I'm in your guard and you arm bar me, and I go like this. Well, what's probably going to happen to my elbow? I'll hurt my elbow. Lots of white belts do that. But we don't decide not to train arm bars just because white belts do dumb stuff when they get put in an arm bar. Instead, you take them aside and go, hey dude, stack the guy. Make sure you make your elbow safe for life. And it's the same deal with foot locks. If you learn them properly and you learn the defenses properly, you're going to be fine. So just don't be afraid of this. It's absolutely fine.
I would be able to tear through brown belt division because I don't.
Oh man!
When I fight a good footlock guy, it's just like I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's like bringing a gun to a knife fight. Like like one of the guys I trained with a few years ago back in the day in Toronto was a guy named Leo Santos, who's you know, pretty well known, multiple-time world champion, and I did a couple private classes with him. And like I had like a couple of years of jiu-jitsu. I sucked. He beat the crap out of me for an hour. Like I think he submitted me 40 times in 1 hour. But I heel hooked him once. That's all I took away from that training session, because I was a moron. I was like, well, I got him. I'm pretty good. No, that was terrible. And that's the flip side of foot locks. Is if you can be kind of decent at them, and because you're so, like I mentioned earlier, because you're so much better than everyone else, you think you're good at them, and it can actually delay your training. Like, I would be better at jiu-jitsu right now if I hadn't been so happy with the fact that I could heel hook guys for 3 or 4 years in a row and never learn how to pass the guard. That's not a way to go. Just learn them, but don't rely. So within the 50-50, if I've stood up like this and I feel the guy really kind of his hair's kind of following me, I'm gonna exactly with that kind of transition. I'm gonna block his knee and drop my knee to the mat. Now, if he rotates all the way over like that, then I'll just kind of pass. But let's rewind for a second. If I'm able to get my knee down in this configuration and keep his knee up, as I start to slowly rotate his knee, exactly, I can rotate into a knee bar. This is what I always go for first when I end up in 50-50. I learned this back when I trained with Ryan Hall, and like I did this to a bunch of people. I never got caught with it since then, and then Kayotera did it to me a few weeks ago. It's a really cool move. Bring your knee down, keep your partner's knee up. If his knee gets to the mat, I can't do it. So I just want to make sure that I'm posting on his knee. Now I'm going to very slowly use my hips. You see how, I don't know if this is visually apparent, but my hip bone is pushing into his ankle to slowly pry him out of the entanglement. As soon as I feel his leg go free, I start slipping my knee underneath, and I rotate to a fully locked in knee bar with his heel in my armpit. My knees are pinched, my heels are digging his hip, and just a little bit of pressure is enough here. So once more, I could again be, let's say I'm battling to get to here, but every time I do, he pops my leg back. Okay, I know I can't do the pass. I'm having a little bit of trouble standing up. I'm going to wait all the way over here, and I get my knee to the ground. And comes in, making sure that I keep this up, as far up as I can get it. Like, don't go crazy rolling, but just lock your elbow, and then slowly project your hip forward. And once this happens, you get into Kneebar. You basically can't get out of it at this point, unless you just go crazy to roll through, but you won't get out of it, you'll just end up back and forth. I trap his ankle in my armpit, I remove my knee, I sit down, knees are pinched. It's very, very tight knee bar. It'll go from not being tight, as soon as you settle it down, it'll be pretty tight. So obviously don't ever apply, I mean I shouldn't have to say that, but so you wouldn't do that with an arm bar, so don't do it with a knee bar. I'm up, I block this knee, I shift my weight, I get my knee down. Good base here. You can add live toes here, will help you generate force. Using this hand for a post, base the knee, hip forward. As this breaks free, I slowly slide underneath. Into my knee bar. Anybody need to see that again? Yeah, this is again, I'm starting to get up. You get this knee back down. The pressure up, closing your elbow. On the toes. Makes this hand out nice and wide. Hip starts to lean forward. As you feel that break, start sliding your knee through. Make sure that his knee stays on this side. Right? If his knee pops through here, it's not like I'm going to lose. Like I'll just come back and disentangle, but I've lost the position to submit. So we want to make sure that that's the reason I'm keeping my hand here. Because if at any point I go like this, if he just gets his knee to the mat and starts to slip out, yeah, he can maybe start to attack my back. So I keep control of the lever to his hip. I drive my hip forward, keeping his knee on this side of my thigh, and slip into the knee. I got it.